In an effort to inform voters, the St. Tammany Chamber of Commerce is pleased to present this series of Meet the Candidates videos. In this video, we present candidates for Mandeville Mayor, Jeff Lyons and Billy Rosenthal. Clay Madden, who is seeking a second term, declined to participate.
Hello, my name is Jeff Lyons. I'm running for mayor of the city of Mandeville. The reason I'm running is because there's a definite need. I see a lack of leadership, a lack of transparency, and it is just time for a change. I'm offering you an extreme change from what's available now. My history, I go back 40 years of managing people, 30 years with a multi-million dollar food service company. I had 5 levels of people underneath me that I managed to make sure that we got the job right. I also am the son of Edward P. Bubby Lyons. He is the former Terrebonne Parish president, mayor of Houma. He's in the Political Hall of Fame, and he did a stint actually as the interim mayor of Mandeville. That being said, I just grew up around how this local politics work. You know, I understand how it works. I understand how the interactions. I understand the interactions of local governments and how you have to be available to the people and at the same time do what's best for the people. It's an honor to have the opportunity to run. It's a time of my life when I'm coming out of retirement, and there was just a strong need. That's why I want to run. That's why I want to be the next mayor of Mandeville.
My name is Bill Rosenthal. I got 7 generations here. I went to the Catholic school just right around the corner, kindergarten, up through 8th grade, Mandeville High School. I'm a commercial pilot. I teach aircraft, airplane, and helicopter. I went to school in Miami. I was a police officer here too when I was 18. I taught people from the tip of Iceland all the way down to South Africa, across the Atlantic to South America or not, and all kind of language barriers. I guess that's about it.
A recent CPA analysis forecasted the Mandeville General Fund will be decreasing due to operating budget deficits. How will you propose to manage the next 4 years of operating and capital expenditures?
It's extremely important that the next mayor evaluate the current situation, spendings and whatnot, and to prioritize the needs of the city. In short, we have to stop the reckless spending that has been going on over the last 3 years. Like everyone else, the city needs to be tight in its belt, and we need to spend our money wisely. You know, once we establish and a responsible budget, we can begin to replenish the surpluses which have been afforded the city to fund the necessary fund balances and the necessary capital improvements and the operational expenses.
Well, first of all, I need to look at the problem. If there is a problem, it's all speculation right now, and that's the best answer I can give you. As far as, one person says they $2.4 million in debt. Mayor said he's not, but until I get in there, if I get in there, I got to look at everything and see just what the problem is. My background, there's no room for error in aviation because either you're good or you die. So I would run Mandeville with that mentality of aviation.
Would you support increasing the property tax rate to stabilize the general fund budget or cutting the budget and living within your means?
Well, we have some uncertain economic times right now. It's extremely important that the next mayor evaluate the current situation, spendings and whatnot, and to prioritize the needs of the city. In short, we have to stop the reckless spending that has been going on over the last 3 years. Like everyone else, the city needs to be tight in its belt, and we need to spend our money wisely. Once we establish and a responsible budget, we can begin to replenish the surpluses which have been afforded the city to fund the necessary fund balances and the necessary capital improvements and the operational expenses.
Not going to raise taxes, live within your means.
Do you support the formal reinstatement of the Mandeville Financial Oversight Committee? If not, why not?
Yeah, I do. I do support it. I support it because we have valuable talented people out there that are just concerned. And why not use their expertise? They're going to be in an advisory capacity. I want everyone to understand that. They're not going to make decisions on why we should spend money, who we should spend money on. They're allowing us to keep track of our finances, okay, as they come in and as they go out. Government accounting is very complicated. I think having some people to assist you again and giving a better means of expressing and explaining the finances to the public is extremely important. We haven't been able to get that currently. So why not use these talented people? Absolutely, I support my financial Mandeville Financial Oversight Committee.
I personally did work a little bit for the government. I don't like to expand government. And with all these appointed boards, like the planning and zoning, this board over here, that board over there, the finger pointing committee, I don't like appointed boards. I think they're not they're not in touch with the people like your politicians are. I'm all for oversight. And what I plan to do, if people has a real problem with the financials, I put a little ticker on the internet. It shows every day what you're spending. And it's not that costly to put it on there. At least somebody have an idea of what's going on. No, I'm not for appointed boards, period. With the planning and zoning, there's no enforcement. I've seen tons of fill dirt being dumped all around Old Mandeville, and it's clay fill dirt. They say it's not. I know it is. And that's why I don't want no more appointed boards.
Will you pledge to make the necessary flood control improvements to the land purchased by the city before recommending any additional vacant land purchases? If not, why not?
Well, we kind of, put the cart before the horse here regarding, these land purchases. It's one thing to purchase some land to store some water. I'm not quite sure, but without a plan, to actually let us know how we're going to use this land, what kind of capital improvements that need to be on this land, how much it's going to cost to have that one little piece of land hold some water for how long of a time and whatnot. I just don't see it be. I think it's a kind of a pie in the sky thing. Like we're going to purchase all this land with no plans on how much money it's going to take to do these things and use them for these things. I will not purchase any more land, okay, until we know what we're going to do with the lands with the land we've purchased already, and what's that going to cost us.
The land he bought on Carroll, I must say that's about the only land that will give us some flood protection. The other stuff will not. They did have a retention pond there, when I was coming up as a child, because I went to that school. So they blocked that little retention pond. And since then, it has been cataclysmic flooding over here by me, which we never did flood before because all the beach people would bring their cars over towards me during hurricanes. So other than the Carroll Street project, there's just the other land that they bought, and even the one over there on Jackson Street, that's basically a swamp that drains into Bayou Castine. On Jackson, just leave it alone because it's doing what it's supposed to do. The one on Carroll Street would have to be dug the way it was before, and some huge, culverts put up in there to get this place flowing again, and cleaning ditches and estuaries. That's what needs to be done, and not a berm that's over there. They're thinking about putting another flood deal over there on the west side of town.
Regarding the rights and uses of personal property, how will you prioritize following the U.S. Constitution, the Mandeville Cloro, and constituent consensus?
Well, we have to act within the confines of the law. Obviously, it's Constitution first, the Cloro, and then the constituency. It's just that simple. these laws of land use laws are derived, from the consent of the governed. It's not just one group over here, one group over there. It's the governed. It's everyone that has a right to develop their land and at the same time be protected from overdevelopment.
U.S. Constitution
Okay.
very clearly says right to property. What is it? Life, property, and a pursuit of happiness. That's in the Declaration of Independence. I think the Constitution, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. So yes, just can't tell people what to do with their property. You can, if it starts like what's been happening in Mandeville, they're dumping a lot of fill dirt and then it floods the next door neighbor, especially older structures. And I had the same thing happen to me, and that's why I'm running. And, I'm sick and tired of this new construction dumping 24 to 28 yard, 2 or 3 trucks at a time, which it did right over there on Jefferson Street. And this old house I'm in is like over 100 years old. And it floods the property. And they've been doing this for quite a while now. It's when you start affecting other people's property, that's when your property rights ends.
Currently, there's an $8.5 million capital outlay budget for the construction of a new city hall and police station. Given the forecast of a budget deficit, would you agree to move forward with these projects?
No to City Hall. The Mandeville police facilities need improvements.
No, ma'am.
It has been said that the city of Mandeville has a current spending level that is dangerous. Would you agree or disagree?
Yes, based on the comments of the finance director and actually the CPA firm that did some projections with our salary increases and whatnot, and saying we have to address this, not as we currently budget, because that is an issue. Yes.
Not until I get in there and look at the books. I would have to disagree. Because I'm not there. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. If and when you consider constituent consensus, will it be based on a full polling or the most vocal?
Oh, full polling. Absolutely.
Polling.
Mandeville, I'm giving you an opportunity for a choice. My experiences are extremely different. My work history is extremely different than my opponent. I have 40 years of managing people, of actually processing the future, having to look into the future for future sales taxes, future revenues as a business leader. They all kind of go to the same thing. My opponent never talks about his work history. And there's a reason for that. He's never done these type of things. He doesn't have the leadership skills necessary. I have these leadership skills necessary. I understand people. I understand local government. I understand that we need a consistent vision. Okay. We have a comprehensive plan coming up. That's very important. But I understand also how that comprehensive plan ought to be put together. Okay. You can't separate it. You can't separate it from, well, just the people want this or this person over here wants that. You have to go through the processes with the non-elected zoning boards because it keeps it apolitical. That's why the legislature has that. And so you need to consider what they want, but it's a vision. It's a vision. Comprehensive plan's a vision. So I will tell you this, I'm giving you a choice. The choice is clear. If you're satisfied with the current administration and his accomplishments, so be it. But I'm not a professional politician. Okay. I am not going to run for this office to run for something else. I'm going to take care of the business of Mandeville as it is and as it needs to be taken care of. Thank you very much.
I've been here all my life. I've seen things the way they were back in the older days, which were a whole lot better than they are now. I guess you would say that the overbuilding in Old Town, which was just a resort, on infrastructure that was laid down in the 1940s. You keep complaining, about all the new construction. I know you can't stop new construction, but they keep shrinking lots compared to the old days, and there's only this old system that we have here can only handle this so much, and now we got what I've seen is the sewers overflowing right here on Jefferson Street. When we got a hard rain, ditches, my God, they're so filled up with debris, they don't even work anymore. And brownouts are on just about every week occurring. If you got your air conditioner on, it blows the condenser unit up, over a period of time, it keeps hitting it, and okay, well, anyway, the reason why I'm running is basically this place really needs some maintenance. Mandeville's really lacking in maintenance, and they haven't done anything for decades, with maintenance problems. So, because I was a child here and I seen the way they did it, I can offer that.
Thank you for watching, and we'll remind you that early voting begins March 9th and the primary election is on March 23rd.